Okay, welcome everybody. Let's talk about different ways that we can leverage our available margin. It depends on your account size and things like this. And we're going to just talk about two common ways that trades are placed and the significance of each, okay? Excuse me. So let's first talk about a small position. So small position means the quantity is small. So you can see over here I got a quantity of 4. For me, that's considered a very large position for my account, okay? Pretty large. Small would be 1, but this is 4. So let's talk about the opposite of this. If you have a position of 1, quantity 1, this is E-mini, okay? For some, let's say you're trading the micros, the MES. Maybe some of you are trading options. So you might be buying calls or puts or some type of strategy, right? And you are taking a fairly small position, meaning you're not putting down a lot of money to buy that position, right? For me, I trade on margin because my account is margin and everything you do is margin. Once you have a margin account, everything is on margin. Even if you have positive cash balance and all that, doesn't matter. The broker is always going to say whatever trade you're doing is on margin. And that's fine. We're not going to dive into that today. But let's talk about scenario number 1. That's a position size of 1. Now, generally speaking, if you want to make even any kind of decent profit on a small position, you need, I'm going to go vertical here. We can use this as an example. You need large range. You need some fairly big movement in the market to make good money because your position is small, right? Makes sense, correct? If your position's small, you need a fairly decent move in the market to make some decent money. Now, what are the benefits to a small position? Well, the risk is going to be, the risk is small when you view it from the perspective of position size. So this is position size, POS. Okay. So the risk check is good because for position, the risk is small. Okay, I know what we should do. Let me do this a little bit different. We'll put up here risk. We'll make a little spreadsheet column header. 2 columns. Go bam. Position size is 1. Risk, if it's a checkbox, that's good. If it's an X, we'll call it bad, okay? But this is a checkbox, it's good because your position risk is pretty decent because you have it small. Now let's talk about, I probably should have put it over here, but we'll just put it over here. We'll call it range. A lot of people don't get this part right. They mess up on the range. Well, what does range mean? Range is how big of a movement does the market move while you're holding the position. Okay, so what's the risk? We'll just, I guess we need another column over here. We'll put 2 of them, okay? We'll split this risk column in half. Okay, we'll split it in half. This half over here is for the position, and this half over here will be for range, okay? So remember, check is good, X is bad. So from the perspective of position, the risk is good because you got a small position, so your account's doesn't have a lot of, it's not at risk, right? It's the jeopardy of being caught out in a small position, and big damage to your account is small. But in regards to range, the risk is higher and it gets an X because range, you need large range, medium to large range, we'll call it. We'll just put large. You need large range to make any kind of decent profit. You can see it's a pretty big candlestick right here. I don't know what it was at that time. This was 3. So we'll say this is about 5 times. That's probably like 15 or 20 range here, okay? With this big red candlestick. So this is where a lot of people don't take into account the range. The range necessary for you to extract any meaningful profit out of the market. So, excuse me, traditionally, most people think about small position equates small risk, everything's good. And that's not necessarily true because you need to stay in the market longer to make money. Okay, so that's the most common way we see people take a position and the way they evaluate risk. Is it bad? No, it's not bad. This is acceptable. This is, very, very common. Now let's talk about large position. In my case, 4 contracts would be considered large for my account. Okay. From the perspective of risk on the position side, is the risk good? No, it's bad. Okay, how big of a range do I need? How much range do I need to extract profit? Well, I need, as a matter of fact, not just small, but very small. I need very small range or small vertical movement in the market for price, right? This word's supposed to be very. Sorry, it's a little cheesy here. Very small range to extract meaningful profit. So from risk in regards to range, is it good? Oh yeah, it's double check. It's excellent. It's really very good. Okay. So this is the big difference between two different style. I want to say style, but two different position sizes and how it relates to risk. Now, clearly, if the market moves big against you with one position, you might be able to hang in there longer. Probably you can wait for the market to bounce back, that kind of stuff. You can sweat it out longer and you might get out even, break even, make a little profit, or you simply cut the position loose and you didn't take a huge loss because your position size was fairly small. That's the benefit to this approach. Okay. The downside to this is you need that large range to make any meaningful profit, which a lot of times people won't get enough profit, so they'll go and jump in the market again. Come on, folks, let's be honest, right? You take a position of 1, you get some profit, but you want more, so you do it again. Sometimes you're successful, sometimes the market nabs you, right? Right. Am I saying that this is a bad way to go? No, not at all. Especially if you're successful with it, stick with it. Okay, but you got to be honest with yourself. Evaluation and assessment is important. Okay, this one, what's the risk? The risk obviously is the size of the position. If the market moves against you dramatically or even like kind of a medium movement, that's a big position. Your market's getting powwowed. Okay? Clearly you want to have a really good exit strategy, right? You want OCO, one cancels the other, or ladders or something. You don't want to just be flying blind here, right? You got to really have this well thought out. So the exit strategy for this position is much more critical. So that's the huge risk, is that such a large position could get you in trouble if you allow it to stew and brew for too long. But remember, the benefit side to this is that you only need a tiny little movement in your favor. Okay? So now, real world example. Here I was today. I made this trade. For my account, 4 E-minis is pretty big. I could probably squeeze a little more out of it, but I might be able to do 5 or 6, maybe, whatever. But I did 4, which is pretty big for my account. Okay, and guess what? I got in at 53.41. It was a short trade up in here. So 41 was like right in this area. And I got out at 53.39.75, because remember the E-minis trade in quarters. See, quarters over here. I only needed, you do the math here, I only needed 1.25 points, or basically almost just about 1 point worth of movement. This is tiny, right? This is a very small movement for the S&P 500. Even on a tight range day, even if you have a day where the daily candlestick shows a doji, you're going to almost always get more than this amount of movement. So guess what? Let's look at this together. I got in here at 41, and I literally got out right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ticks. 5 little ticks, and I was done for the day. You take this $250, 5 days a week, which is very probable. You do the math. That's 12. I'm just going to do the simple multiplication here. 5. I already know this in my head, but it's 1250 a week times approximately 50 weeks in a year. We can just do 5. We'll add the 0 later. We know this is going to be 6250, right? And we tack on a 0 because we really want 50 weeks. So there it is, $62,500 a year trading a super tiny range trade. Okay, so obviously this approach right here, this one right here, would require you to have, a fairly decent sized account to be able to pull this kind of stuff off. But I just wanted to introduce this. I talked about this before, but today I want to dive into it a little bit deeper. If you have a decent sized account, large positions may seem scary, but if you set up your exit strategy, which I have it here in single, but most brokers are going to give you some type of smart trade, some type of laddering, or smart trading strategies. Okay. Here the market was moving so quick, I just had it on single. I popped in, I popped out. This trade literally was less than 10 seconds. I was in and out. Whoops, supposed to be a C. It was like the scalp of the century, right? In, hold your breath, and you're out. I'm serious. It was like 5 seconds. Because the market was moving like this, and I just scalped it and got out. And I won't trade again until tomorrow. I don't care if this is not $1,000 or $2,000 or $5,000. I don't care. Because I know this number right here, while it doesn't make me a millionaire, it grows my account. And even though inflation's really high here in Texas, certain parts of the nation, we can live on this kind of money. Maybe not great, but it's doable. Okay. That doesn't include other income that I have coming in from other fixed income and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not going to get into the rest. There's more than just this amount of income. But my point trying to make here is that you can go super small with a big position and do really well. You just got to make sure that your entries are really good. I know that sounds easier said than done, but your entries got to be really good. And you got to have really super tight exit strategy, right? If you do that, guys and gals, you can make a lot of money consistently. You can make small money, but consistently. And let me tell you something. Let me clear the screen here. You can always go back to pause the video and take a screenshot of that for those that have medium to large accounts. Let me tell you something. Small range. The caveat here is big position, right? Small range with big position equals big. In fact, in the spirit of Donald Trump, we're going to go with the word bigly. So we can just really make some people on the left super frustrated and angry. We'll go with bigly here. Bigly. Okay, so this works really, really good. All right, so think about that. Just keep that in mind. You don't have to do this every time. If you're successful with other strategies, by all means, leverage those and use them. But on days where, like today, we're kind of tacking around there, the all-time high, the market's a little bit up and down and sideways, guess what? You can still make decent money in the marketplace. Hope you all enjoyed this video. If you want to become a member, stick around to the end of the video and I'll show you how to do it. Right, you want to become a member. That is awesome. Let me go to full screen here. This is just a screenshot of the membership. There is a discord.com link in the description below this video. Make sure you read those instructions and then click on the link, the discord.com link. It's going to bring you to get a server. Then you click on server shop. Guys and gals, $8 a month, $7.99. Don't be cheap. Invest in yourself. $25 for 3 months. Okay. Now, for those of you that saw this video and say, well, I don't have a really big account. Okay, guess what? Just divide that by 10. Okay? So instead of $250 today, you would have made $25. Okay, especially if you're young and you haven't had a chance to, you haven't had a chance to build up your assets in your life, then just don't, this is hard for young people to understand. Because I remember being young, you want to go. You want to grab that gold at the end of the rainbow today and be a millionaire by this time tomorrow. That's usually not a very reasonable goal. Just be patient. I know it's hard, especially when you're young, but be patient. Just think about $25 a day. Just think about that for a second. If you had made $25 a day, 5 days a week, that's $125 a week. Okay, it's the same math we just looked at earlier in this video. Instead of $62,000 a year, you're going to make about $6,200 a year. Would you take that right now, young people? If you knew by the end of 1 year you're making over $6,000, most people can say yes. Okay, and what I encourage young people to do is go back in your previous year or previous 3 months. Okay, 1 year is better. What did you do in 2023? How much money did you make trading in 2023? Were you profitable or did you take a loss? Did you break even? So you gotta always be honest with yourself. So small incremental profits keeps the losses like almost minimal or none. If you just make small profits and your risk is super small, you're just chipping away. And after a while, your account just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, take it from someone who's been trading for decades. The longer you have a position in the market, the more vulnerable you are. The less time you're in the market, the better the chance you have of making profit, as long as you're using decent strategy. Okay, so use the service because it's going to help you with decent strategy. Down here is the streaming charts. They stream 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. There's a 5-minute chart, the 15-minute chart, and a 1-hour chart. There's a Get Us Plus indicator on there. There's on the hourly chart, there's hourly cycles on there. Okay, really, really handy. There's also streaming charts for golds. When you join, just hit me up in chat and say, hey, Get Us, where is the link for streaming charts? I'll give it to you. Okay. Both the streaming charts, S&P 500 and gold, they have their own alert channels here and here. So you can just right click, turn these notifications on. Okay, super easy peasy. Every day at the end of the day, I put premium symbols in this channel, and there's been some really good symbols in there lately. Okay, so you might want to check out those symbols. At the end of each day, I put in the video, just like one I'm running now. This is kind of an exception. I'm doing this video in the middle of the kind of late morning, but I'll always put out a video for the members after the market's pretty much closed. Okay, and in here is where the link will be for the video. You can just go in there and watch it. So when you join, just right click on that, turn notifications on. I mean, come on, we're talking $8 a month. If you're making $25 a day, you know, in 1 day you paid your membership for the whole month. In here also, I put every night when the nightly email goes out. So when you join, make sure you put your email address in the emails only channel. And what you're going to get is the daily chart of the S&P 500. On there is the daily cycles as well as the support and resistance lines. And I put on there along with the email, I usually give at least 2 to 3 sentences of my opinion about what I think the market's going to do. Really nice. Okay, I track slower activity. Pretty cool subject matter. You might want to dive into that when you join the membership and look at it. And then regular member chat happens in these channels. When you join, just ask me, say, hey, get us in the member chat. Where's the new member video? I'll give it to you. All right. So you can watch that video. It'd be super helpful. Now let's talk about the rules. There are rules on the server. One is you got to be respectful and nice to everybody else. No foul language, no profanity, no links to dirty pictures or dirty stuff or political nonsense. We try to steer away from that, especially on the left. I don't want to hear it. This is a conservative server. Just know that coming in, okay? Yes, you can join if you're a Democrat. Just don't bring your politics here, okay? Second is a disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. I do not give financial advice. And no matter if it's me or anybody else posting on this server, I don't care what's being posted. Everything is strictly educational purposes only. No financial advice is applied whatsoever because you got to be responsible for your own trade, guys and gals. That's the way it works. The service is going to help you, but you're the one's got to pull the trigger on your own trades, okay? And lastly is the refund rule in there. You want to read that refund rule so you understand, okay? I think that pretty much covers it. The service has been excellent. We got quite a few members. I have 1 or 2 people that trade gold every day. Sometimes I trade gold with them. So they make use of the streaming charts for gold. You can trade the micro gold or you can trade the E-mini gold. You can also trade the S&P 500 futures, the E-mini, or you can trade the micros. Okay. Of course, I know there's a lot of my members trade options. There's nothing prevent you from trading options. You can still use the service to help you time your options trades. Okay. So there's a lot of choices out there. Okay. The service will help add to your repertoire that you already have. If you're new to trading, great. It's going to help steer you in the right direction, and you can grow from there and become a good trader. Okay, guys and gals, for $8 a month, I mean, it's just crazy cheap. Take advantage of it while you can. All right, it's going to be a great summer. I think the market's probably going to be strong through the summer when we're talking about the indexes, the indices. Gold, I'm going to guess, is going to break above 2,500. Eventually at some point here. Right now it's hovering right around 2,400. All right, so lots of great opportunities. Join the server. The community's kind of small, but we get along pretty well. Yes, we got some debates that go on once in a while, but so what? We try to keep it civil. Right? It's a good community. So enjoy it. Join us and enjoy the server. Use the service. Become a better trader. Pocket some money. Make some bank. Right? That's what it's all about. All right. Happy trading, everybody. Hope everybody's having an awesome day. God bless everybody. Talk to all of us soon again next time.